Ever feel like, I don't know, constantly battling distractions or just struggling to find your footing, in this crazy world?
Yeah.
Well, today's deep dive, it might just hold the answers you've been searching for,
Okay.
and the source might surprise you. We're talking ancient samurai wisdom.
Oh, interesting.
No, we're not suggesting you start, challenging people to duels or anything.
Right.
We're going to be extracting surprisingly relevant advice from these legendary warriors who, they lived and breathed strategy, discipline, self-mastery. And you might be surprised how much these ancient figures have to say about navigating the complexities of, well, your modern life.
What's fascinating to me is, how these principles, they were honed for survival in feudal Japan, how they still resonate with the challenges we face today.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, think about it. The modern world, it's constantly throwing us curveballs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Cutthroat competition, endless distractions, the pressure to perform.
It's a lot.
We may not be samurai, but tapping into their mindset, it can give us an edge.
Right. It's like having a secret weapon, something passed down through centuries. And to guide us, we've got excerpts from some incredible texts.
Oh, cool. Which ones?
The Dokkodo, the Book of Five Rings, and the Book of Family Traditions on the Art of War.
Classics.
These aren't just like dusty scrolls. We're talking about the distilled wisdom of figures like Miyamoto Musashi and Yagyū Munenori. Think Sun Tzu, but with katanas.
Exactly. Imagine getting a crash course in resilience and strategy from, warriors who face life or death stakes daily. The level of mental fortitude they had to cultivate. That's something we can all learn from.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. We'll start with the Dokkodo, which Musashi, he penned this just before his death.
Wow.
He basically took a lifetime of experience, victories, failures, the whole samurai shebang, and boiled it down into 21 potent precepts for living.
And what's striking is how much these precepts have in common with, philosophies like Stoicism.
Oh, interesting.
Even modern self-help. The idea that true strength comes from within, from mastering yourself and your reactions to the world around you. It's a universal truth.
It's like a universal code for resilience, hidden in plain sight. So let's give our listener a taste of this ancient wisdom. One that really jumps out is the very first precept: accept everything just the way it is. Sounds simple, right?
Deceptively simple. I mean, in our world where we're bombarded with information and choices, it's kind of a radical notion.
Right.
It's not about being passive, though. It's about focusing your energy on what you can influence. Your actions, your responses, your mindset.
So it's like choosing where to direct your energy.
Yes.
We all have those things, right? At work, in our relationships, things we wish we could change, but we can't.
Right.
Musashi would say, okay, what can you control in this situation?
Precisely. That colleague who's always late. The project that keeps changing scope. Musashi would tell us, accept the reality and focus on your response.
Love that.
Can we find a workaround? Can we communicate more effectively? That's where our power lies.
It makes you rethink, that next time you're about to fire off that frustrated email.
Oh, I know it.
And speaking of things we often can't control, how about that comparison game?
Ugh, don't even get me started.
The one that social media seems perfectly designed to make us play.
Oh, absolutely. And Musashi actually addresses this. Precept, #7, is never be jealous. Honestly, could there be a more relevant piece of advice today?
It's so true.
We scroll through these, curated highlight reels, and it's so easy to fall into that trap of feeling inadequate.
Totally guilty of it. Scrolling through vacation photos while, I'm stuck on the train. It's like, why not me?
Right. But Musashi reminds us that jealousy, it's pointless, it's unproductive, it just drains our energy and steals our focus from what truly matters.
Which is?
Our own growth, our own goals, our own path. Imagine him saying, put down the phone and reconnect with your own internal compass.
A social media detox with a samurai twist. I like it.
Ah.
And you know what else resonates with modern life? Musashi was onto minimalism centuries before it was a trend.
Absolutely. Precept #14, do not hold on to possessions you no longer need.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that true freedom, it often comes from letting go.
Yeah.
And not just of physical clutter.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, though. We're not all, aspiring minimalists living out of backpacks.
Right.
What does this detachment look like beyond just cleaning out your closet?
It's about recognizing that clinging to past regrets, outdated beliefs, even relationships that no longer serve us, it holds us back. It's about creating space in our minds and our lives for what truly matters.
So it's not just about what you own, but what's taking up space in your life. I like that. We're barely scratching the surface of the Dokkodo, and already it's packed with wisdom.
Yeah. The Dokkodo, it really sets the stage.
But when it comes to, actually applying that samurai mindset to your goals,
Right.
that's where Musashi's The Book of Five Rings, this is where it comes in.
This is where he goes beyond just the individual.
Yeah.
And he outlines a framework for, really achieving mastery in any field.
And he does it by comparing a warrior to a carpenter.
It seems random.
It does.
But then it kind of hits you.
It does. It's like, what?
The brilliance of that analogy, I think, is how it highlights the importance of preparation.
Okay.
And the right approach, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a carpenter wouldn't just start building without a blueprint.
True.
Musashi's saying you need to understand the terrain of your goals, just like a carpenter understands the wood that they're working with.
It's like before you charge into battle, know what you're up against.
Exactly.
And have the right tools.
Then have the right tools.
In your arsenal.
And remember, Musashi, he wasn't just a swordsman.
Right.
He was a renowned strategist, a skilled calligrapher. Talk about attention to detail.
Oh, wow.
He even designed gardens.
Wow.
He understood that true mastery requires a holistic perspective.
So to achieve that mastery,
Yes.
he breaks down his approach into 5 metaphorical scrolls.
Okay.
Each one representing a different element,
Are they
kind of like levels in a video game.
Okay, sure.
What's the first one our listener needs to conquer?
The Earth Scroll.
Okay.
It's all about laying the foundation.
Essential.
Musashi, he stresses the importance of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, your purpose. Think of it like a personal SWOT analysis before you tackle any big goal.
That's something a lot of people skip though, right?
100%. They jump right in.
They just jump into projects, no self-reflection, and then they wonder why they hit a wall.
They hit a wall,
I know.
of course. Musashi would say, figure out what you want.
Love that.
Not what everyone else is telling you.
Right.
What are your values?
Yes.
What are you uniquely bringing to the table?
Right.
Once you have that clarity,
Okay.
then you can build a strategy that's authentic to you.
Okay, so you've laid the groundwork, you're clear on your goals, you're feeling good,
You're feeling good.
but then life happens.
Okay.
Life throws you a curveball.
Always.
What's the samurai approach
Right.
to handling those unexpected obstacles?
That's where the water scroll flows in.
I love it.
Musashi emphasizes the importance of being adaptable,
Okay.
like water.
Okay.
It could be a gentle stream or a raging river.
Yeah.
The point is,
Yeah.
it finds a way around obstacles.
It's the bend but don't break philosophy. Right.
Exactly.
How does that translate to, say, navigating a tough project at work?
Right.
Or dealing with a setback in your personal life?
Think about it. How often do we get fixated on one way of doing things?
Yeah, it's easy to get stuck.
Then, when things inevitably change,
Right.
we get thrown.
Yeah.
Thrown off, of course.
Totally.
Musashi would say, stay flexible.
Okay.
Adjust your strategy as needed.
Be like water.
Find a way to use that obstacle to your advantage, right?
Yeah. Okay, I love that visual, turning a roadblock into a source of momentum. And speaking of tools for handling, whatever comes your way,
Yeah.
Musashi was famous for advocating for Tiruobaki swords, right?
2 swords.
2 swords.
He used a longer katana and a shorter wakizashi,
Huh.
which was unusual,
Yeah.
but it meant that he was prepared for both long-range and close-quarters combat.
So not just like a one-size-fits-all approach, which is so relevant today.
Right.
It's like,
multifaceted.
yes,
Yeah.
in the modern world, it's like having a T-shaped skill set, right?
Exactly.
You have deep expertise in one area, represented by the katana,
Yes.
but you've also developed a breadth of knowledge and skills,
Mhm.
your wakizashi,
Yeah.
to adapt to different situations.
I love that.
Right. So, like,
Yeah.
you might be a fantastic writer,
Right.
but if you also have design skills, or understand basic coding, boom, you're like, this multifaceted weapon.
You're dangerous.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
And that kind of adaptability, that willingness to learn, to grow, essential in today's world.
Musashi still got it.
He does. It's like he's saying, don't limit yourself, be a student of life. You never know when a new skill or piece of knowledge will come in handy.
100%.
Okay, we've covered personal growth, we've covered strategy.
We're on a roll.
What's the final piece of wisdom our samurai sensei has for us? We've covered a lot of ground,
Well, yeah.
from like personal resilience to strategic thinking.
Yeah.
But for our final act,
Okay.
let's bring in a different perspective.
I like it.
Think of it like, I don't know, adding another dimension to our samurai playbook,
Okay.
right? So far, it's been all Musashi.
It has been all Musashi.
And don't get me wrong, the man's a legend.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. But now we're going to turn to Yagyū Munenori.
Okay.
A samurai who lived and worked in a very, very different context.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy was all about that, I don't know, that high-stakes life.
High stakes, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the guy who rose through the ranks to lead the Tokugawa Secret Service.
Wow.
Imagine the stories that man could tell.
Oh, I know it.
His text, The Book of Family Traditions on the Art of War,
Okay.
offers insights you won't find anywhere else.
Like.
Leadership, observation, keeping your cool when the pressure's on.
And what's so fascinating is that, Munenori, he wasn't a wandering swordsman like Musashi was.
Right.
He served the shogun directly.
Right, like up close and personal.
So his strategies, they were forged in this crucible of political power, espionage.
Wow.
It adds a whole new layer, I think, to his teachings.
It's like getting a masterclass in leadership
Right.
from like the 17th century James Bond or something.
Exactly.
Okay, so hit us with one of Munenori's most, I don't know, powerful concepts.
Okay, the one that stands out to me is hit and be hit at.
Okay.
Now, before you picture some epic samurai duel,
Right.
remember, Munenori's talking about a strategic approach here
Right.
to any conflict.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Because it sounds kind of counterintuitive at first.
It does.
Why would you intentionally, I don't know, put yourself in a position to get hit?
It's about timing,
Okay.
strategic retreat, knowing when to hold back and when to make your move.
Okay.
Munenori recognized that sometimes the best way to win
Yeah.
is to let your opponent exhaust themselves first. Create an opening by, appearing vulnerable.
So, okay, so like in boxing, the rope-a-dope.
Exactly.
You take a few hits, you tire the other guy out, and then bam, you strike when they least expect it.
100%.
Got it.
And this isn't just about physical combat, right?
Right.
Think about negotiations, business deals, even personal disagreements.
It makes sense.
Sometimes the best move is not to react immediately,
Yeah.
but to bide your time, observe, and then act decisively when the opportunity arises.
It's making me rethink, I don't know, how I handle those like heated email exchanges I get sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes stepping back, letting things cool down. That's the most strategic move.
Often, yeah.
Way more effective than just like firing off an angry reply right away.
100%. And that actually ties into another one of Munenori's key concepts, the normal mind.
The normal mind.
Okay, it's about staying calm,
Yeah.
clear-headed, focused,
Yeah.
even in the midst of chaos.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Right.
But like, what does a normal mind actually look like in practice?
Yeah, how do you apply it?
Yeah. Like, picture you're facing a crazy work deadline or you're dealing with family drama.
Right.
How do you channel your inner samurai Zen master in those moments?
Well, Munenori, like Musashi, was deeply influenced by Zen Buddhism.
Right.
This normal mind he talks about.
Yeah.
It's about not letting your emotions run the show. It's about responding to situations with a sense of clarity and awareness
Yeah.
rather than just, reacting on autopilot.
So instead of getting swept away by like stress or anger, right.
You're like that unflappable samurai warrior.
Yes.
Arrows are flying all around and he's just calm, spattered.
And this is where Munenori's background as a spy master, I think, becomes really relevant.
Oh, interesting.
He understood that in these high-pressure situations, overreacting
Yeah.
could be disastrous.
Makes sense.
A calm, observant mind
Right.
that's essential for making smart decisions, for spotting opportunities,
Right.
and ultimately, coming out on top.
It's like that saying, in the midst of chaos, there's also opportunity.
There you go.
But you need that normal mind to be able to, recognize it when you see it.
To see it, exactly.
It's true.
And that's the beauty of, I think, what we've been talking about today.
Yeah. These samurai texts, they're full of strategies for developing that clarity, that resilience, that strategic thinking
Yeah.
skills that are just as relevant, honestly, in the 21st century as they were back then.
It's like these samurai masters left us, I don't know, a secret playbook
They did.
for navigating the complexities of modern life.
It's all right there.
They faced down challenges we can barely imagine
I know.
and came out the other side with, like, wisdom to share.
Absolutely. So much to learn from them.
So here's a thought for you to take into the rest of your day.
Okay.
What's one area of your life
Yeah.
where you could benefit from a little more, I don't know, a little more samurai wisdom?
I love that.
Could you bring a little more normal mind to that stressful project.
Right.
Could you maybe use that hit and be hit at strategy in your next negotiation?
Love it.
The wisdom is there.
It is.
All you have to do is start applying it.
That's right.